channel 125. And on all our social media handles, we will join you on TV. Coming up, residents of the Ho Municipality and nearby communities expected to face water supply disruptions as Ghana Water Limited temporarily suspends operations of the Kpeve Treatment Plant due to extreme turbidity levels caused by recent heavy rains. Government spokesperson Felix Kwachi Ofosu accuses the Ghana Bar Association of partisanship, describing the association as an appendage of the opposition MPP and criticizing what he says is its silence over alleged derogatory remarks by Minority Leader Alexander Afenyomarkin directed at a judge. Speak to him here on The Pulse. The Pulse is brought to you by Devondril Cough Expectorant. Devondril, breathe easy, feel better. My name is Kenneth Gyasi. Don't go anywhere.
Another week is here on the greatest of all time show. My name is Giovanni Clip, and tonight we're bringing you talent. Contestant number one, let's bring David. Let's bring. He did it for you.
Cut. Oh, there is a leakage.
Where's the plumber? For quality and durability, insist on Syntex pipes.
If you want quality, this be where you belong.
Strong, tough, and reliable. Your perfect match to your trusted Syntex pipe. Syntex pipe, it they carry water. No wahala. Syntex pipe, it they make water they flow. Syntex, and you're strong, and you're tough.
Mom, so Kpeve contains all vitamins?
Yes, 12 essential vitamins that growing bodies need.
So we'll grow healthy and strong. And smart?
Absolutely.
Kpeve Multivitamin Tonic contains all the essential vitamins and nutrients needed for the healthy development of children from age 1.
Ponies and so many animals I just couldn't keep up. Our tour guides taught us so much about the wildlife, their behavior, and how to interact with them. I even fed them. We also went fishing on a man-made canal. Then we took a break to have lunch in this serene environment. All this amazing experience for this price for adults? This price for teenagers. It's a bargain. As the sun began to set, it was time to go back home, but not before dinner by the campfire. It's been a thrill of a lifetime, and I can't wait till my next visit.
Safari Valley Eco Park, bringing you closer to nature.
This week on the Career Trail.
I was born in the States. I wanted to be an aerospace engineer. So I'm graduating at this point. I don't have a job. I don't have a business either. I remember I sent, I was sending emails to people that had businesses on the continent. I'm sure whoever was reading the email didn't even know where Ghana was. And then for 2 years, made a lot of money in the process. And I decided to now focus on ping pong. This lady just walks out and, she's talking to her friend. She's like, ice cream, 10 cedis. And come if I go to food. Listen, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Good afternoon. Residents of the Ho Municipality and nearby communities are expected to face water supply disruptions after Ghana Water Limited in the Volta region shut down operations at the Kpeve Treatment Plant following dangerously high turbidity levels in the raw water source caused by recent heavy rains. A development expected to disrupt water supply to the Ho Municipality and surrounding communities. Management said the excessive movement of sediments, silt and pollutants into the water source has pushed turbidity levels beyond the plant's treatment capacity, making continued water production technically unsafe and operationally unfeasible. The company also blamed construction and recreational activities near the intake point for worsening the situation and called on relevant authorities and stakeholders to urgently intervene to protect the water source from further encroachment and environmental degradation. So let's look at the statement that has been released to that effect. It says that the management of the Water Limited Volta region is informing the public, particularly residents of Ho and surrounding communities, that operations at the Kpeve Treatment Plant have been temporarily suspended due to extremely high turbidity levels in the raw water source as a result of rains in recent times. It continues to say that the turbidity levels have exceeded the acceptable operational threshold required to safe and effective water treatment, thereby rendering continued production technically unsafe and operationally unfeasible. It continues to say that this unfortunate development has compelled management to temporarily shut down operations at the headworks until conditions improve and safe operations standards are restored. It says that such developments pose a serious threat to the sustainability, safety, and reliability of water production in the area. It continues to say that recreational and construction-related activities around the intake area have the potential to continuously compromise raw water quality and create recurring operational and production challenges for the treatment plant. It concludes by saying that the management is calling on all relevant authorities, environmental protection agencies, traditional leaders, and other key stakeholders to urgently intervene to safeguard the Kpeve water source from further encroachment and environmental degradation. Right, so those are excerpts of that statement that was released by the Volta Regional Branch of the Ghana Water Limited to that effect. We still walk in the Volta region and speak to our resident correspondent, Ivy Setoji, to get a sense of the expected impact. Ivy, how many households are likely to be affected by this?
The number of households, they are not sure, but what
We're trying to get Ivy Setoji, who's our resident correspondent in the Volta region, to understand the situation and how it is impacting the residents of Kpeve and neighboring communities. As you've been made aware already, they say that this was as a result of the recent heavy rainfall that has happened and also construction works going on around the area where they distilled the water. And we've been hearing from the Ghana Water Limited at the Volta region, who are saying that if these things do not work out, it is going to be difficult for the residents of Kpeve to get water. Let's go on to Zoom again and speak to the Chief Manager of Public Relations and Communications at the Ghana Water Limited, Stanley Marty. Welcome to the program. What specifically caused the turbidity levels at the Kpeve Treatment Plant to rise beyond operational capacity?
Okay, so let me begin from how treatment plants are built. Before any treatment plant is built, we look at the source, the raw water source, and then we study it over a period of time, between 5 to 10 years. So we are able to tell that at at the highest turbidity level and then the minimum or the lowest turbidity level. So it is based on that we are able to design the treatment plant and then to build and for this thing for us to use. Now, so every treatment plant in this country, we have over 92 systems. All of them are unique on its own based on the raw water quality that they abstract for treatment. And so is the Kpeve Treatment Plant. Now, the Volta River is about the cleanest and the lowest turbidity level water or source that we have in this country. So the treatment plant, all our treatment plants built along the Volta River also built with a certain design to treat water not beyond a certain level of turbidity, let's say treating 20-25 maximum. But at least sometimes we try to go a bit beyond the 25 NTU level. Unfortunately, this time around, we are unable to because we've gone beyond the threshold at all, the threshold in general. So as at the last point, we're recording over 400 NTU, over 100 NTU, which is way above the maximum threshold that the treatment plant can actually treat. And that is why we shut down. In October last year, the managing director and the management of Ghana Water Limited had gone to Kpeve because of similar issues. And then we have reported and warned that if the encroachment around the intake enclave is not stopped, then we are going to face these challenges. And anytime this occurs, then we may have to shut down. And so since that time, we've had these experiences. I mean, in October, it happened along the line till last week when they had to go off and on within a week. We had to go on about twice within a week. Currently, as I speak, most parts of Ho is without water because of the same issue. We have had to shut down because of the high turbidity of water in the Volta Lake. And it is just around the intake. And it's also as a result of the...
Hello, Stanley. Do I have you? That's Stanley Mate there. He speaks for the Ghana Water Limited company. He's been providing some clarity as to the reasons behind the shutdown in the Kpeve enclave in the Volta region. Let's try one more time if we have him on the line. Stanley, you froze a bit. You can kindly continue.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so what I'm saying is that now turbidity level, or as of last week, the turbidity level has gone above 100 NTU. Well, the treatment plant is supposed to treat water with turbidity just around 20-25 NTU.
Stanley Mate has frozen again, but he is the spokesperson for the Ghana Water Limited, and as I mentioned earlier, has been providing some clarity as to the reasons behind the shutdown of the treatment plant at Kpeve in the Volta region. He says it's due to excess rainfall. That's quite interesting because usually when we hear about treatment plants being shut down, it's usually attributable to illegal mining or what we know locally as galamsey, but he's providing a very interesting narrative that it is due to excessive rainfall and also a construction around the treatment plant, which has resulted in the temporal closure of the treatment plant there. He's been providing some clarity on that. Right, so that's the gallons that you see on your screen, people trying to get some water for daily use. Stanley Mate, we're trying to get him back on the line to speak with us. He speaks for the Ghana Water Limited, and as I mentioned earlier, he's been providing some clarity as to why the treatment plant at Kpeve has been shut down. Stanley, I want to believe that we have stable connection to you now.
Hello.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I think that the internet wasn't stable. So reasons why we have shut down as human activities around the intake enclave. So now we see the human activities are taken, it's occurring a bit upstream, okay, on a hill. So what happens is that anytime there are rains, it washes off the topsoil into the intake area. One, it's silting the area, and then two, it's making the water turbid. It's also washing off a lot of debris into the intake area. And when this all happens, then we are unable to abstract the water for treatment. Even if you are able to abstract, the turbidity level is so high that the treatment plant is incapable of treating the turbid water. Okay, so we have had to shut down. And since last week, we have been off. We are doing everything possible to see how we can produce. But when the turbidity levels are high, there's nothing we can do because the treatment plant is not built to treat water beyond a certain turbidity level.
How many people are likely to be affected by this shutdown?
The Kpeve Treatment Plant serves the entire Ho Municipality. And then all communities along the transmission main into Ho. That's about 30 kilometers from Kpeve into the Ho Municipality. So you can imagine the number of communities along the line who depend on the Kpeve Treatment Plant for water, and then the entire Ho Municipality. So the entire area is affected.
That's quite unfortunate.
Let's say the population of the whole municipal municipal area is affected.
Quite unfortunate. And how long is this expected to last?
We wouldn't be able to tell because one, we're expecting more rains in the rainy season, so definitely there'll be more rains, and that area is also an area where we have heavy rains, frequent heavy rains. And so we wouldn't be able to tell. Apart from that, the activities are still ongoing. So it means that anytime anything happens, any activity goes on, yes, we're going to see some erosion or some wash off of the topsoil, and definitely it will end up around the intake area, thereby silting the area and then making the water more turbid.
Will it be closed? Will it be closed for the entirety of this year?
Oh no, it can't be. But then the thing is, that is the only source of water for the whole municipality. So even a day, even a week without water will create a lot of public health issues within the community. So as early as practicable, we need to stop these things so that we can have an enhanced or an improved water source so that we can treat for the people. And I wish that the members of the community will also do their part by ensuring that some of these things do not happen. Their stakeholders around, they all need to meet and to see how best they can stop this encroachment so that we can also produce water for them. Last year, we had met with the Regional Security Council, and we had met with the head of the Regional Security Council, which is the regional minister for the place. We've met with the municipal assemblies, the municipal chief executive, and assemblymen. We've met with almost all opinion leaders, including the chiefs and elders. And so we're expecting that some action will be taken. If no action is taken, then the people of Ho should brace themselves for a similar occurrence anytime what the turbidity levels go high beyond the threshold that the treatment plant can treat.
With this being the only source of safe water in the whole enclave, as you've made us aware, what immediate measures is the Ghana Water Limited putting in place to minimize the impact on consumers? Because as you are aware, even a day shutdown of this is worrying, and now you are not even giving us a timeline as to when you are going to reopen the power plant or the treatment plant.
And this is one of the reasons why we are a bit worried, because the closest area where we can get water into Ho Municipality will be around Sogakope, Keta, where we have another treatment plant. And we can only transport water from that area into Ho only via tankers, because there's no pipeline that can serve the area. And how many tankers in a day can we fetch, travel that distance to feed what number of the population? You understand? Because the whole tanker cannot serve more than 50 people. You understand? And if you look at the distance, a tanker can only do, let's say, 2 trips in a day. Unfortunately, the Ghana Water Limited has no fleet of tankers to do that as well. And that is why we are worried. So that encroachment or that activities around the enclave must cease henceforth, so that at least we can continue producing water for the people. Water is life, water is health, and it's important that we give the people good water so that they can consume, be healthy and productive to save our nation.
And to what extent really have construction and human activities, you've mentioned encroachment around the intake point, contributed to the current situation really? And also, this is a double question, what are you doing beyond words, beyond just urging them to go? Because we know that these issues, if you just do it by word of mouth, it's not going to end anywhere.
Unfortunately, the Ghana Water Limited cannot bite. It is not within our mandate to do anything. Ours is to produce water. And if there are any malpractices or anything untoward happening, we only have to report to the Regional Security Council, who will take it up, and then the rightful agencies will do what they have to do. And that we have done. We can't go and stop anybody from putting up a structure or having any recreational activity anywhere. It is not within our mandate.
How long ago was that?
Like I said, we saw the construction somewhere last year, and it affected us in October. And so management quickly moved into the area, assessed what happened, and gave the warning that if the Regional Security Council does not take immediate steps to stop the encroachment in that area, these are the things that are going to happen. And when it so happens, there's nothing that the GWCL can do than to shut down. So we have to choose between GWCL producing constant flow of water for the people to be healthy and productive for our nation, to one individual or a few people putting up a recreational activity to make money for themselves. So we have to, as a people, we need to choose the two.
At the time of the shutdown, what was the turbidity level of the water there?
It was around 95, thereabout, close to 100.
And
like I said,
and then on average, what's the turbidity level on average?
The turbidity level has always been below 10 NTU.
Oh. And
the maximum that the treatment plant can take is between 20 and 25 NTU. Now we are at 100, approximately.
Right. And has the Ghana Water Limited previously raised concerns about encroachment around the water source with authorities?
Yes, exactly so. We don't relent on such issues. Like I said, last year, October, it came to our notice and we had to shut down. And so the managing director and some management members moved immediately to the place. Okay, the whole of last year and this year, we've been to Kpeve about 5 times. We have met with the chiefs at the place. We've met with the regional minister on all occasions that we have been to the Kpeve intake. And then our regional management at Ho have also met all the stakeholders in connection or in respect with the same issue. And so we have done everything within our means to have those activities or these activities around the enclave cease. Unfortunately, it's fallen on deaf ears.
Right. You say that you've informed even the Regional Security Council. What did they tell you? What was their response?
Oh, these are security issues.
Right.
For us, it's information for them. So we just give them the information, and then it is within their mandate to do the needful. And that is what we expect from them.
Stanley Mate, thank you very much. He speaks for the Ghana Water Limited. You're still watching The Pulse here on Joy News. Let's bring you more stories this afternoon, because a government spokesperson, Felix Kwachie, has accused the Ghana Bar Association of partisanship, describing the legal body as an appendage of the opposition NPP. In a strongly worded statement on his Facebook handle, he argued that the association's silence over recent comments by Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo Markin, directed at a judge, exposes what he describes as double standards within the legal body. According to him, if the Ghana Bar Association were truly impartial, it would have issued an immediate, uncompromising response to what he called the intolerable abuse of a judge by the minority leader. We'll speak to him shortly, but first, let's bring back the minority leader and MP for Efutu, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, who addressed a news conference yesterday, slamming authorities over the continued detention of Bunu Regional Chairman of the MPP, Kwame Bafo-Abronye, demanding his immediate release from BNI custody. Watch.
Demands, and they are non-negotiable. First, Mr. Kwame Bafo-Abronye might be released from BNI custody immediately. His detention is constitutionally indefensible and must end today. Second, our legal team will mount full constitutional challenge to this prosecution, including challenge to the application of sections 207 and 208 of Act 29 against political speech where civil liberties are available and adequate. Third, Parliament's Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee shall, upon assumption of Parliament, be made through an application to summon the Inspector General of Police, the Director General of BNI to publicly account for every decision taken in this matter. The Chief Justice is not also above the law. Parliament will use every law under its command to summon the Chief Justice. They must all be answerable.
That's the minority leader, Alexander Afenyo-Markin. He also called on the majority to cooperate with the minority to end what he described as a growing cycle of political intimidation.
And let the majority know this. In the effort by the minority in ensuring this is done, they should not try to stampede it. It is good for democracy, and we call on the majority to support it, because tomorrow they may be in opposition and they may need this very law to protect them. I repeat, for our friends in the majority in Parliament, I call for their cooperation, even as the minority in summons the Chief Justice, the IGP, and the Director General of BNI to appear before Parliament. They should support us. They should cooperate. It is a democratic responsibility. They shouldn't, for partisan consideration, decide to stampede us with their numbers. If they do, one day, they will regret it. If they do, they may win with their numbers. Sure. But one day, by 2029, they will be shouting on the rooftops, asking for the law to protect them. And we'll tell them that when the time came, they condoned, they connived and supported it. We pray that day will not come. We need to end this vicious cycle in our political system. It is better for this country to sit together and work around the relevant issues that would ensure the growth of our democracy. And that is our demand on the NDC today.
You heard the minority leader, Alexander Afenyo-Markin. Government spokesperson Felix Kwakye has taken exception to the words used by the minority leader and has slammed the Ghana Bar Association for its silence on the matter in a strongly worded statement posted on his Facebook handle. And there it is. It says that I have long dismissed the Ghana Bar Association as an MPP grouping. If it were not so, the intolerable abuse of this judge by the minority leader will have elicited an immediate, uncompromising response. They have been known to respond quickly to far less offensive commentary on non-MPP members. Alas, one of their own, an MPP lawyer, has abused a judge, so they have been loudly silent. What insufferable duplicity. Statement that was released by the minister in charge of government communications, Felix Kwakye, a while ago. We're trying to raise Felix Kwakye for a response on that. But in the meantime, though, 5-year-old Miguel Insifo should be in school learning. Instead, he is in a race against time to survive a brain tumor that has forced him out of school and left him struggling to walk. After one emergency surgery, Miguel now urgently needs 53,000 Ghana cedis for another operation. Florence Ahodagbe traveled to Gomua to meet him and has come through with this report.
Are you sure dog is a non-living thing? No. Yes, example. Cheers. Clap for her.
In this classroom at Blessed Little Angels School, 5-year-old Miguel Insifo has not been in school for the past 2 months.
Dog, no.
Now, instead of running around with friends or learning in class, Miguel spends most of his days at home. Walking has become difficult. Sometimes he struggles to keep his balance. Miguel's mother, Joyce Donko, says it all started with complaints of headache after school one Friday.
Friday, a week na 6 March tamaso. Office school by no sama miti. Ma miti. Ti e mami e quadros to prepare pale ade man. The complaint was a Friday no. Saturday, Sunday, Monday no because school no sorry na pa. Na nimnya peja. Ah. Daddy, e dey na yo. Papa is no pedal was some by so. I no. Na me was school any more meton and mother small my friends. Began by a dan or that many mean somebody have no hospital. Madam Mama, me too, me shop, me do a crowd training ya bill. No, send me to na me didn't call offense.
At the hospital, doctors ordered scans. The results revealed a dangerous condition, fluid building up inside Miguel's brain. Doctors later explained a tumor growing at the back part of his brain was blocking the normal flow of fluid and creating pressure inside his head. The first surgery was to drain the dangerous fluid from Miguel's brain and reduce the pressure. But the cost was overwhelming.
See, surgery is 200 million. 200 million. 100 million basa. No, say me count some sandam. Papa ni jina wa yedi. Na manadi. Easy. Me floway. Just my bobo. Edwani po mindibi. Na aya ni say osuni Bible nko ha. Tais de nudu ye na. Tais de nudu ni mami. Madam, me be. Nenino. We ko say. Udini jina ho a wonjina. Ati sa mesesa no. Na doctor Peninu ba say. Maybe I blame to one wana. A control ni peduana. Wa dwani che say kwa ha. Obekwa. I want a sad no.
The school contributed. Church members also stepped in. Small donations slowly came together.
Yami aduma am suffering pastor by kakranka by discussion with my madam. Mami Joyce, yanya bi ason ma yeto yen side me 51 million. One mbungo to do me bed nani. Pastor Medasati. Friday no. Na umefa amufu de no kwai. Mtabe dan tuntum mu. Sami twa se odimbe baba. I did bet me down home at 4 o'clock. And I dream in mammy and most empire body if I don't quite 3 o'clock and what for me get mammy. There, Diana or the open neighbor, Mr. Cross, the random that was sick.
But for Joyce, the relief did not last long. Miguel now needs a second surgery to remove the tumor itself. And once again, the family is struggling to raise the money needed to save his life. This time, the surgery will cost 53,000 cedis.
Mami na make a fa. Snaggo pon wanka. Amanfo akoma no wambo ama. Meka fa de miske wa he. Meka fa de miske wa he. Kwahwe abehe ate de me ma me ya. Na ma se me atum de miske dem yali. Saka chichi no ma me wo mbo menti bi da. Abo fa 5 years. 5 years. 5 years old boy. And then ni yali kakrake. To be slag off. Obla ma bla. Just obi wa ukwa 106 no yama. TCD no yama. Na sasika me babu ano. I consider ben men sasika.
While other children return home from school every day, Miguel can only watch from a distance. The classroom he loved now feels far away.
His friends sometimes ask of him, they get bored and they miss him too. So sometimes they become bored without him because he's very playful.
For now, Miguel's school bag remains untouched, and the future his mother once imagined for him hangs in uncertainty. For Joyce Donko, every day has become a race against time, death, and fear. For Miguel, it is a battle to return to the simple life he once knew: school, football, friends, and the dream of growing up to become somebody someday.
High five. Yeah.
For Joy News, Florence Ahodagbe's reports from Gomwa in the Central Region.
Health professionals and community leaders are raising concern over increasing cases of chronic illnesses, opioid abuse, and early deaths among young people in some mining communities in Takwa. A medical outreach by the Goldfields Ghana Foundation is now revealing worrying health trends that experts say may require broader public health attention. Nathalia Kwanza reports.
What began as a routine medical outreach in Takwa is also exposing troubling health concern within the mining communities. Hundreds of residents from Brahapobom and nearby communities turned up for free health screening, medical consultation, and medication under an outreach organized by Goldfields Ghana Foundation in partnership with health professionals and other organizations. But beyond the screening, organizers say the exercise is helping uncover deeper public health issue affecting residents.
Even if you look at the obituaries on the walls around the Takwa area, the fact that you have very young people dying, people dying in their 30s and 40s, all this requires some kind of investigation. And how do you investigate? At programs such as this, the data that we take, we identify the prevailing health conditions in the communities, and then we can collaborate with the Ghana Health Service to intervene.
According to him, one major concern emerging is the growing abuse of opioids among young people within mining communities.
What we are identifying is high rates of drug abuse, especially the opioids and all that. I don't know whether it is because of the small-scale mining activities. People feel they must have energy to go and dig and do the manual. We don't know. So we are doing it at regular intervals just so we can gather enough data to influence the interventions that we want to do. Over 70% of the workers at Goldfields are from the host communities, meaning that the very people we are considering host community are also our employees. So even if we were selfish, we will at least take care of our own people. But beyond that, corporate social responsibility for the past 30 years that Goldfields has been involved in actually affects your bottom line.
Medical professional participating in the outreach say many residents are also living with chronic illness without knowing their conditions.
Then we are also screening for chronic diseases like hypertension, diabetes. If you come in and you have joint pains, we also want to do the test to confirm whether you have sickle cell disease as well. A patient, especially our elderly folks with musculoskeletal disorders. As you are becoming an adult, the first thing I would say is have a peace of mind, reduce stress, because it induces a lot of these chronic illnesses like hypertension.
Beneficiaries describe the outreach as timely, particularly for residents who struggle to access regular healthcare service.
Whenever there is a scheme, they should try and come, because it doesn't cost. When you go to private hospital or even government hospital, you pay for it.
Rough check in their health, and then drugs are given for free. You don't pay a dime for anything. So it's an excellent opportunity for people to at least access quality health care.
In other stories, the Ghana Navy has rescued 7 suspected stowaways from a Belgian-flagged crude oil tanker, MT Kpeve, following a distress call transmitted through maritime rescue coordination channels off Ghana's coast. The 7 are believed to have boarded the oil tanker at Abidjan in La Côte d'Ivoire. Briefing the media in Tema, Flag Officer Commanding of the Eastern Naval Command, Camaraderie Solomon Esiedu Labi, said the vessel detected suspected stowaways concealed inside its radar trunk while operating about 200 nautical miles south of Temahaba. Kwame Yanka has more.
The operation was launched after the Maritime Operations Center of the Ghana Navy received a distress call on Wednesday, May 13, 2026 from the Maritime Rescue Coordination Center in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire. The distress call originated from MT Kpeve, a Belgian-flagged crude oil tanker with gross tonnage of approximately 82,000 tons and IMO number of 9380738 with its last port of call at Abidjan in Côte d'Ivoire. The Ghana Navy ship Achimota, under the command of Commander Ishmael Kofi Kwanzaa, was immediately deployed with its crew to intercept the tanker and render assistance. The naval vessel successfully met the tanker at sea, where personnel, after braving rough seas during the operation, successfully rescued all 7 male suspects from the tanker's radar trunk and arrived in Tema on Saturday, May 16. Here is Flag Officer Commanding of the Eastern Naval Command, Commodore Solomon Esiedu Labi.
Ghana Navy ship Achimota was tasked to investigate and offer the necessary assistance. The Ghana Navy ship departed harbor approximately 1900 hours on the set date and successfully intercepted the tanker at sea, where 7 suspected male stowaways were safely extricated from the tanker's radar trunk. All the 7 suspected male stowaways were brought to the Tema Harbor successfully on board Ghana Navy ship Achimota and are in good condition. Preliminary investigations indicated that the stowaways are all Côte d'Ivoire nationals but belong to a Ghanaian community in Côte d'Ivoire. They reportedly boarded the tanker clandestinely at the Ivorian anchorage.
Commodore Esiedu Labi stressed the operation underscores the Ghana Navy's unwavering commitment to safeguarding Ghana's territorial waters and strengthening security across the Gulf of Guinea.
The stowaways have been handed over to the appropriate authorities, including the Ghana Ports and Harbour Authorities, the Ghana Immigration Service, and the Marine Police for further investigations and necessary action. Additional details will be communicated as the investigation progresses. The Ghana Navy reaffirms its commitment towards the maintenance of security within Ghana's maritime domain and the Gulf of Guinea as a whole. I seize this opportunity also to express deepest appreciation to all our maritime stakeholders who supported in making this operation a successful one.
Present at the briefing were Deputy Command Operations Officer Lieutenant Commander Dorothy Osei Anaso, and other naval officers. Kwame Yankes reports for Joy News.
Away from Tema, the Public Accounts Committee is demanding answers from the Ministry of Labour and Employment over 2 vehicles bought with public funds but which cannot be traced more than a decade later. The issue emerged during scrutiny of the Auditor General's 66.7 billion Ghana cedis government arrears special audit report, which flagged a payment claim of over 200,000 Ghana cedis for the purchase of 2 Nissan Tilda saloon cars. Ministry officials told the committee documents relating to the transaction cannot be traced because the vehicles were supposedly procured in 2011. But the controversy deepened after officials also disclosed that Japan Motors, the company contracted to supply the vehicles, is still demanding payment in 2025. Here's the Director of Finance at the Labour and Employment Ministry, Mary Nimson, attempting to provide some explanation to Park.
Even available. The ministry, as we stand now, we don't have enough documentation on it. So when the auditors came, we made them aware that we don't have enough documentation on this. For the price adjustments of the pickup, that is selling automotive, they have been paid, but then they are saying that there was delay in payment. So they computed some interest for us to pay, of which Ministry of Finance was made aware of. The 2 horsepower air conditioned too, we don't have enough documentation on it. So we told the auditors, as we stand, we don't have enough documentation on them. So they reached out to those institutions, but then the institutions also didn't respond to what the auditors raised. For the last one, the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, they are building, the cost for the completion of the building was a 5.1 million. The 4.3 million was work certified. And so because they were work certified, the auditors agreed to it. But then the remaining amount is work yet to be done. So they were rejected. And we all agreed to it that because it's work yet to be done, we agreed for it to be rejected.
Let's cross over live and speak to our resident correspondent in Parliament, James Aveji, who's joining us for more on this. James, the finance director indicated that 40% of the amount have been paid and the rest kept accruing interest. How does she know about this? And really, when the document that they say cannot be traced come to their attention? Hello, James.
Well, Ken, that was a question posed to Mrs. Mary Nimson after responding to the statement. And what her explanation has been is that they had to write to the company at the center of the provision of this 2 saloon vehicles, who provided some photocopied documents to them, in fact, which they cannot even substantiate, where they discovered that 40% of the money for this vehicle was paid. On the issue about the accrual of interest was on another set of vehicles, some pickups, which were procured, which the committee said the company was demanding for some interest. The explanation has been that the payment for those 2 pickups, because the payment delayed, the company, a different company which provided those 2 pickups, were demanding interest on it. We can listen to the exchange between Honorable Akufo-Addo and Madam Mary Nimson on these 2 saloon cars, which, as we speak, cannot be traced at the ministry.
Able to tell the committee that 40% of that amount was paid, and that subsequent to the auditors making verification with the suppliers, we could not find the 60%, and that is where you agreed to the rejection. If you did not include this, how did you get to know that 40% of this amount was paid? And upon what documents did you verify the 40% from?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What happened was we saw this one by the auditors. We reached out after the auditors have finished and we were supposed to come here. We reached out to the Japan Motors and other people to give us, for us to get information as to what transpired. And that is how come we got some information on them. We got some photocopies, but then we don't have actual documentation. You see, we are talking about outstandings to be paid. We can't just use any photocopy that somebody has given you to confirm that this is supposed to be paid. We need documents, real invoices and things to be paid. So if we don't have them, we can't just say that these are outstandings and they are credible, so validated, we should pay. We don't have them. These are some photocopies that we got, and that speaks to the issues. My ask to documentations as in the originals for us to put before for payment to be done. We don't have them.
And James, how was this resolved?
The Sector Minister, Honorable Rashid Pelpo, then intervened in the matter. According to him, the vehicles were supposed to be procured for the Social Welfare Department, which in 2011 operated under the Ministry of Employment, which has since been moved to the Gender Ministry. So what he wants to do now is to liaise with the Social Welfare under the Gender Ministry to know whether that vehicle moved with them to the Gender Ministry, and if indeed the vehicles have been procured and the state of health of those vehicles. The committee demanded that whatever comes out of that fact-finding mission he promised to embark on should be brought to the committee, which will form part of the final recommendations on this particular 2 missing saloon vehicles.
About making profits, and those profits they paid to you over 8 years at the Finance Ministry as corporate taxes. Policy decision and policy leadership ought to make sure that we took steps to protect the customer. And I'm saying that we, under this reset agenda and under a responsible government, have done so. Minister, no, Honorable, I'm also a member of Parliament. Don't do this. Minister, you don't, please, I am on the floor, Minister, Honorable. I understand. Let me make my point. No, you won't heckle me. Don't play sentiment. You, but we beg you. Until and unless policy decision is making. Honorable, you need to rein in the honorable member. She's being unruly. No. You are being unruly, please. This is unbecoming of a member of Parliament. Please. Minister, listen, you don't have the floor. No, I have the floor. No, you have asked me a question. I have the floor. You will let me answer the question. Minister. No, you will let me answer the question. No, you won't do that, Abina. You won't do that today. Let me finish. Minister, respect me. Let me finish. No, you don't tell us what you want to do. But you've not brought me here to talk down on me as well. Nobody's doing that. I listen to you go on. You will listen to me as well. Respectfully. We have asked them to roll out. We have asked them. Respectfully, can you turn off your mic? The chair give me the floor, please. Minister. Minister. Honorable, don't do this. This is our committee. Minister, respectfully, I understand. If it's your committee, then don't invite us. But if you invite us, you ask us a question. Minister, if you ask us a question, you listen to us as well. Minister, it's not a monologue. Respectfully. So respectfully, let me land. We will let you land. Just a minute. Minister, respectfully, we will let you land. Minister, we are not coming to repeat anything. Respectfully, we will let you land. Please. When you come here and we address issues, it is not that we want to take anybody down. Never. You and I, we go beyond this. We go beyond this. It is not that we want to take anybody down. But Minister, the situation is serious. And that is all the sentiments I'm trying to carry across. And that's the point I'm making. We've given a policy direction in January. On the back of our policy direction, MTN is rolling out 800 new sites. Telecel is rolling out 350 new sites. Between those two companies, you see 1,150 new sites. However, that's why I said to you that this is engineering and not sentiment. When you ask an MNO to roll out a new site, there are steps that have to be taken. First and foremost, you need to do the acquisition of the site. Then you need to then make the requisition for the radio equipment and the cell sites. Those are not things that are, for want of a better phrase, in a supermarket that you just go and buy. You place an order with an OEM. The regulator, the NCA, is MNOs are receiving their BTA devices between July and August. So yes, we have made the request. We have asked them to take the steps. They have taken the steps, but it takes time for the equipment to arrive in the country. And when the equipment arrives and they roll out the improvement, you would see the improvement in the network. But we cannot sit here after 10 years of failing to take action. Someone is taking action, and then you say that you want to see it as quickly as possible.
How many of the sites are they building this year?
This year, MTN is doing 800 new sites.
Okay.
Telecel is doing 350 new sites.
Okay.
So we're looking at 1,150 new sites this year. And I'm saying to you that over the last 10 years, from 2016,
yes,
the average has been 223 sites per year. And so if this year we are doing 1,150, we are doing a 500% increase to try and cover. And that's why I'm saying that, yes, we all go through the challenge. But I'm saying to you that you cannot will some of these things into being with a snap of a finger. It takes time. And so I'm saying that we gave that order in the first quarter of this year. Minister, it will take about 3 to 6 months. I am confident that by the end of Q3 going into Q4, we would see a remarkable improvement in the network.
James, we just witnessed a heated exchange between Minister Sam George and Chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee, Abena Osei Asare. Tell us what led to this and how was it resolved?
Well, Ken, that was a public interest question that was asked at the tail end of the Communications Ministry sitting before the Park Committee. Honorable Abena Osei Asare sought to seek clarification on why customers, Ghanaians, continue to experience poor network service delivery across the country when the books of the major network, mobile network operators seeks to reveal huge profit they make from Ghanaians every year, but don't seem to do much in order to improve their network service delivery. It is in the response to that where Sam George indicated that some steps have been taken, just that there's a bit of delay in that, and that they are trying to hold all of the MNOs accountable and do due diligence in their work, citing the last 10 years of this same project occurring without the previous government doing anything about it. Honorable Abena Osei Asare took objection to that, and it became a government against government conversation on who did what and who didn't do what. Ken, I must tell you that even before that, there was another clash between Sam George and Honorable Akufo-Addo over some 700 million Ghana cedis, which was rejected as part of, suspended as part of claims raised by the Communications Ministry in that special audit report. We spoke to Sam George after the proceedings to ask him whether we should be worried about what happened and what this meant to the relationship between himself and members of the committee. This is his response. What transpired between yourself, Honorable Akufo-Addo, and Honorable Abena Osei Asare? Do they have to be worried about your relationship with these two or the committee?
Oh, come on. I mean, Akufo-Addo is a very good friend. Abena is a friend as well. And maybe that's part of the reason why our exchanges are very heated, because we do this in our regular conversations. But my point is very simple. The fact that we're friends does not negate from the fact that the work has to be done. I've sat on this committee for 8 years. I've been someone that has toughly questioned people, and I know that my colleagues are only returning the favor for what I did to MPP ministers, and so, but I'm a tough nut to crack, and so that's why I come prepared. The bottom line is, you can ask me any question, but you just need to give me the audience as well to respond, because if I'm responding and you don't allow me to respond, then it becomes a monologue. It's not a conversation, and people need to be able to get appreciation. Akufo-Addo and Abena are very good friends, very, very good friends. And you saw after the program, the end of the session, the three of us huddling together and laughing. So the next time I come back again, I'll fire them. And I indicated it when, as soon as chairman said Abena was going to ask the question, I said, why is he pushing me to Abena again? Because, I mean, but I think that Abena and Akufo-Addo do their work as members of parliament. They do a very good job of scrutinizing and asking the probing questions. And I also will do my job of also holding my own and stating my position. So no hard feelings, no bad blood. I'm going to join them for lunch.
That's Communications Minister Sam George. You're still watching The Pulse here on Joy News. We return from the break with more. See you in a moment.
living in one of the pavilion behind. Later that we had this new building. Then we now moved to the new building.
You did a lot. They have come here and asked us, and they have continued our 6-unit classroom building.
A lot has changed. After documentary, we had 60 tables and chairs, then a 10-bedroom teacher accommodation.
We have never been fair to these young children. The children are suffering. We applied for school feeding, which will have also helped to increase the enrollment.
The impact has been great in terms of enhancing duty bearer responsiveness, in terms of responding to the infrastructure needs, in terms of teacher availability. We are seeing that there's progress.
This week on the Career Trail.
I was born in the States. I wanted to be an aerospace engineer. So I'm graduating at this point. I don't have a job. I don't have a business either. I remember I sent, I was sending emails to people that had businesses on the continent. I'm sure whoever was reading the email, they didn't know where Ghana was. And then for 2 years, made a lot of money in the process. And I decided to now focus on Kpeve. This lady just walks out and, she's talking to her friend. She's like, ice cream, 10 cedis. I'm coming if I go to food. Listen, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
On PM Express, power is confronted, claims are tested, and accountability is not optional.
The first 2 months in office between January, February, and March, we had already brought down this rate, and then we have sustained it since.
Politics, business, the economy, social justice. If it affects your life, it will be examined. If it shapes your future, it will be interrogated.
You ever sitting there today and you see me sweating, I'm answering your question, you in the comfort of your chair, putting all these questions to me. That is why you would not have the responsibility of bringing about this document.
No safe spaces for evasion, no comfort in half-truths, just facts, pressure, and the courage to stay with the question until the answer comes. Your word says,
my words were,
those
listen,
on Compact Plus, you pay 570 and you get more channels.
Evans,
that moves you.
This is the speech.
To the
speech I read yesterday is what I'm holding here. You didn't read the speech. You didn't write it. I wrote it and I read it.
Because democracy demands scrutiny and the public deserves clarity. When the day's noise fades and the nation needs understanding, there is PM Express on Joy News. Independent, fearless, credible.
By midday, the day has spoken, stories have broken, events have unfolded.
We call on governments and cocoa board to pay our cocoa farmers immediately.
Now it's time to take stock. This is Joy News Today. As it happens, as it matters to you, from Accra to every region, from Parliament to the courts, our correspondents are on the beat, bringing you the latest developments, verified facts, and the context behind the headlines.
This authority is just going to be tough for the men. This authority will not affect the suffering unemployed youth.
On Joy News Today, there are no fragments of speculation, but a clear picture of where the country stands right now.
Because of Galamsey, Ghanaians voted against NPP for NDC to come and do better. But the better now, no, and
so you can stay informed, stay connected, and stay ahead. Joy News Today on Joy News. Independent, fearless, and credible.
From farm to plate, do you really know what you're eating? In
tiny glitch in the circuits of the food chain can change the price and size of what you eat. Technology has changed the face of farming, but how is Ghana plugging in? Join Jesse Aram Agbakpo, Emmanuel Bright Kweku on the food chain as they project startups in the agri sector, highlight the gains and plight of industry players while engaging with experts for more insights in agri-related issues. Food chain, everything agriculture and more, as during the Joy Business Report every Thursday at 1 p.m. on Joy FM and every Saturday at 6 p.m. on the Joy News channel, with a repeat on Tuesdays at 2:30 p.m.
Hello again. President Mahama has revealed Ghana lost $78 million in USAID funding following closure of its programs in the country, stressing that bilateral and multilateral support to the health sector has declined significantly since 2025. Speaking at the 79th World Health Assembly in Geneva, Switzerland, he said sweeping cuts to international aid and the withdrawal of major Western funding from global health programs have exposed the vulnerability of African health systems and made health sovereignty an urgent necessity rather than a political slogan. He therefore called for a radical overhaul of the world's health financing system, warning that Africa can no longer survive on what he described as an outdated model of donor dependency.
We meet at the 79th World Health Assembly amid uncertainty, shifting global geopolitics, and deliberate assaults on the world's multilateral system have created doubts about the trajectory of global health cooperation and reform. 6 years after the last global pandemic, COVID-19, the world health architecture is changing rapidly. Overall humanitarian assistance is reported to have declined by 40%, and some of the largest Western economies have significantly cut their overseas development assistance. The World Health Organization's budget has been gutted by the withdrawal of U.S. assistance, forcing the organization to scale down programs and undertake steep staff retrenchments. In Ghana, health financing from bilateral and multilateral partners has significantly decreased since 2025. Ghana lost $78 million in health funding following the closure of U.S. aid programs. This money went mainly into malaria programs, maternal and child health, nutrition, HIV/AIDS programs, including testing and delivery of antiretroviral drugs. In South Africa, the abrupt withdrawal of PEPFAR funding has shut clinics, terminated gender-based violence programs, and left 1.4 million people living with HIV uncertain about their treatment continuity. And we're told that by 2030, 9 million preventable deaths could occur due to these shifts. It is estimated that the direct consequences of this aid suspension could push about 5.7 million Africans into poverty by the end of 2026. It is this gloomy outlook for the future of global health that prompted the convening of the African Health Sovereignty Conference, famously known as the Accra Reset, in August last year.
Well, President John Mahama has convened the Geneva Clarion Call, a high-level dialogue hosted by the Accra Research Initiative to launch a new suite of sovereign health instruments designed to bridge the widening gap in global health financing. The event, being at the Global Health Campus, brings together a powerful coalition, including the World Health Organization, Gavi, the Global Fund, the Pandemic Fund, and the Rockefeller Foundation. It comes at a critical juncture where global health development assistance has plummeted by 21% in a single year, and the U.S.'s withdrawal from the World Health Organization in early 2026 has left a significant gap. Let's take you live to Switzerland.
Ensure that when the 14th General Program of Work meets Gavi's LEAP, they make sense on the ground in Africa, Jakarta, and Rio. And thirdly, last week in Kigali, the Sankore Institute of Global Negotiators was outdoored. We're tired of arriving at procurement tables with nothing but goodwill, only to leave with shackling conditionalities. The Sankore Institute of Global Negotiators will ensure that when we negotiate technology transfer or voluntary licensing, our team is as sophisticated as our counterpart. But even with reform and negotiation, we need a switchover mechanism. The architecture of global health was built in 1948 when most of Africa was still colonized. It was designed with the assumption that financing comes from outside and standards are set elsewhere, and Africa is just the consumer. Today, as the AU champion of African multilateral financial institutions, it is estimated that Africa has over $2 trillion in investable funds. The Afrexim Bank has pledged $2 billion for manufacturing. The political will is there, and the funding is there. What is missing are investment-ready pipelines. And so Hinge, the Health Investment National Gateway Enablers, is our response. It is a deal room, not a boardroom. It will focus on maternal health and bioinnovation. And our commitment is simple but aggressive. We will deliver bankable co-finance deals within 2 years. 24 months, not 24 years of communiques, not 24 validation workshops. We've asked the IFC, the AFD, and the Afrexim Bank to join us in a post-summit retreat to anchor the first structured deal room before the UN General Assembly is held in September this year. We cannot afford a leisurely pace when 182,000 women in sub-Saharan Africa are going to die this year in childbirth. To those who think their crime reset is a fleeting performance, we're digging in. Our coalition is backed by a presidential council from across Africa, Latin America, and Asia. Our Guardian Circle includes leaders like President Obasanjo, President Johnson Sirleaf, and Gro Harlem Brundtland. These are people who do not show up for pretty photo opportunities. They have proven track records of working for the advancement of our world. And furthermore, we will lead by example. And as I said already, in Ghana's 2026 budget, we allocated 34 billion cedis, that's $3.4 billion to healthcare alone. As you move into panel discussions this evening, I want one question to ring in this room. While we talk and plan here in Geneva, all the health workers in the CHIPS compounds in the northern region of Ghana want to know is when these reforms we talk about will make a difference in the healthcare outcomes of the communities they serve. They don't care about the nomenclature, global health architecture, and all the beautiful jargon we throw around. Blueprints and plans don't fit on their phone screens. All they care about is how vital supplies can reach them on time, whether they can safely transport a referred mother on a 3-hour journey to the nearest district hospital. And so let our meeting here in Geneva talk to these rural health workers through a partnership that involves African governments stepping up also to the plate. The Akan people of Ghana say, there's nothing wrong with reaching back to fetch what you forgot. And that's the famous Sankofa bed. What we forgot is our agency. And so tonight we must reach back to the spirit of Bandung and march forward claiming our sovereignty. We're stretching forth our hands and claiming our destiny. And let our partners march along with us. After all is said that if you want to go far, you go together. We want to go far, and so we will go together with our partners. I thank you for your attention.
Mr. President. Thank you very much.
That's President John Mahama at the Global Health Conference in Geneva, Switzerland. Let's come back to Accra because Engineers and Planners has made yet another massive sale to the Ghana Gold Board, selling 100% of its second gold production from the Diamond mine to support the country's national resources. The local mining giant believes bold steps like these, if replicated by other mining firms, could play a crucial role in strengthening Ghana's economic stability and accelerating national development. The brief ceremony took place at the Gold Board Assay office at the Accra International Airport. Fatal Bayaga has more.
Just about 2 weeks ago, local mining giant Engineers and Planners owned by businessman Ibrahim Mahama sold 100% of its first gold output from Diamond Mine to the Gold Board and the Bank of Ghana to support the country's gold reserves. The firm has followed up with another sale, once again selling 100% of its gold production. Michelle Akon is the technical director at the Gold Board, speaking on behalf of the CEO, Sami Jemfi.
Today marks a very significant and refreshing moment for us at Ghana Gold Board. Once again, this is the second time the Diamond Gold Mine is delivering its gold mine to the Ghana Gold Board. 100%. And we highly commend Dr. Ibrahim Mahama, the CEO of the Jata Holdings, which is a subsidiary of the Diamond Gold Mine is a subsidiary of the Jata Holdings.
He also encouraged other large mining firms to emulate the step taken by Engineers and Planners in supporting the country's economic development.
We would like to take this opportunity to encourage all the large-scale mining companies to also endeavor to follow this good example that we are receiving from the Diamond Gold Mines. I want to thank every one of you for giving us your attention, and also we know that you are going to collaborate for us to be able to optimize our value for gold in this country.
Lawyer for the local mining firm, Bobby Banson, says this is a clear indication that the step taken by Engineers and Planners is not just a one-day wonder, but a strong and sustained commitment to supporting the country's gold reserves.
For those that thought that what we did last time was a 9-day wonder, this is just further evidence of the commitment of the mine wholly owned by a Ghanaian to support the Ghanaian economy. Like he said, if all other large-scale mine companies would think of the Ghana's interest first above personal profits, the economy would, in the long term, be sustainable and for the benefit of every person, not one or two. And so if one large-scale mine owned by a Ghanaian is doing this, you can imagine if all the large-scale mines are owned by Ghanaians who have the interest of Ghana at heart, what the economy will be like in the next 3-4 years. So this is a further testament of the commitment of Diamond Gold Mine and the Jata Group Holding to support what is our own, like he has committed. Every time there's production, as long as the Gold Board has the financial capacity to take it, we will give you the right of first refusal, because we want to contribute in our own small way to bring in stability to our economic.
The local mining giant believes this step would help boost the nation's economic stability and sustain national gold reserves. Reporting for Joy News from the Accra International Airport, I'm Fatal Bayaga.
The National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, believes the upcoming rainy season could significantly weaken illegal mining activities on Ghana's water bodies. Addressing journalists during the presentation of 100 confiscated water pumps to the National Service Authority, NIMOS Director of Operations, Dominic Boa, explains that heavy rains are expected to force Galamsey operators off rivers and streams, allowing security personnel to step up the removal of metal chassis and other equipment used for illegal mining while efforts continue to reclaim polluted water bodies.
NIMOS is active on the ground. We are focused
and we are poised to ensure that our water bodies become clearer. We are approaching the rainy season, and we want to pray and hope that, because the galamsees don't like the rain, to be frank with you. So once we're able to clear the metal chassis, GISDEC are helping us to remove these metal chassis. And once we remove them and they are no longer there, they cannot come and quickly replace them. So on the Ankobra, we are there. On the Ofin River, about 17 people were arrested directly on the Ofin. And you arrest them, they come back. Our job ends operationally when we move them from the water and hand over to the police. So we have over 300, as I speak to you, 300 operatives in the field.
There is a desperate plea for help from residents of Mori in the Central region who have been displaced by tidal waves. The incident, which occurred on Saturday, has destroyed property and left over 80 residents without shelter. Some of the affected residents who spoke to Joy News pleaded for urgent help to avert outbreak of disease as they are now sleeping in the open. Abigail Asel has the rest of the story.
The tidal wave incident which struck Mori on Saturday displaced more than 80 residents, destroyed properties, and brought normal life in the fishing community to a standstill. With several families stranded and struggling to salvage their belongings, affected residents are urgently appealing to government and other relevant agencies for immediate relief and support. We need urgent help from our president, our DC and our MP, Honorable Ofosukwache. More than 80 of us are displaced and have lost our homes. We have nowhere to shelter our children. So we need urgent assistance, particularly shelter. We are pleading with our leaders and NGOs to extend a helping hand to us. The tides have swept away all our money and belongings. It has been difficult getting a place to sleep. We are pleading with governments for support. During a visit to the area following the disaster, Central Regional Director of the National Disaster Management Organization, Emmanuel Kwesi Dawood, outlined temporary interventions being rolled out to assist victims, describing the condition of displaced residents as dire and deeply concerning.
These 80 victims have been rendered homeless. NADMO Directorate from AAK, the Region Operations Team, the EOC, the National Security, and the Assembly officials have to be here to ensure that the victims, fortunately for us, the National Coping Mechanism assisted us drastically by way of pairing the families, the affected victims with their extended family partners. And they are currently being cramped or housed in overcrowded extended family halls, which is also not the ideal solutions. This is a fishing community, and their mainstay of occupation is fishing. So their fishing gears and other things have been carried away by the tidal waves.
He further renewed calls for swift humanitarian assistance, while stressing the urgent need for sustainable long-term measures to protect vulnerable coastal communities in the Central region.
It is not just the collapse of bricks and mortar, but as indicated earlier on, it is an existential threat that needs to be tackled head-on. By first and foremost, we are appealing for the humanitarian assistance by way of relief distribution. Then we'll look at permanent long-term engineering solutions, not just for Mori Beach, but all the coastal towns in the central region of Ghana.
From Mori, Abigail Lisol-Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
The Commission for Technical and Vocational Education and Training has recorded significant growth in participation across Ghana, with the number of candidates sitting for this year's examinations increasing compared to previous years. More than 60,000 candidates are sitting for this year's Certificate 2 examinations, reflecting the growing interest in technical and vocational education and training. Speaking to Joy News, Director General Kwame Zu said the rise in participation aligns with increased enrollment across TVET institutions.
Over the past few years, there has been increases, significant increases in the number of learners that have sat for the Commission for TVET Certificate 2 examinations. Last year was slightly above 55,000, and this year's figure is above 61,000 candidates. So clearly, there has been some improvement in the participation. Be that as it may, it is our hope that these figures would even shoot in the succeeding years to come. So there has been some growth in the participation in TVET, which is coterminous with the increasing growth in the enrollment figures that has equally shown short over the years in question.
Okay.
He further indicated that the Commission expects participation to rise even further in the coming years, following the launch of a nationwide campaign aimed at promoting technical and vocational education.
The Commission for TVET, as part of its core mandate, is enjoined not only to administer and regulate TVET, we also promote TVET. So we have engaged in what we call the My TVET campaign over the years, and this campaign has sought to provide reasons why TVET should be a first choice pathway for learners, but not a second choice for learners. So some of these interventions we have done over the period have partly contributed to why the numbers have been growing over the years. But we look forward to even more soaring figures in the years ensuing.
Let's take you back to the Public Accounts Committee, which has raised serious concern over why the Ministry of Sports and Recreation submitted a 35.8 million Ghana cedis claim without any supporting document for work done. The amount, according to the 68.7 billion cedis government arrears special audit report, was a claim placed by the Sports Ministry as cost of the deployment of 6,000 police officers to provide security for the 3-week competition. Although the amount has not been paid, ranking member on the committee, Samuel Atamils, raised questions over how such huge claims found their way to the Finance Ministry in the first place.
Now, unsupported claims, 35.8 million. Just for 6,000 police officers. 6,000 police officers. That was the so-called, I don't know whether they call it Africa Games or All Africa Games.
Chairman, it's African Games.
It's Africa Games. And they spent 35.8 million 2024 for police officers. And we don't have documentation on it. How? Ministry of Sports. How? And you want to sit here and come and argue? Go to a time. Ministry of Sports. We used to change a minister almost every year. Ministry of Sports. We used to change a minister every year. If we can't understand this duplication, I don't understand why we should change a minister every year. Maybe we need to change everybody in the ministry every year and keep the minister.
The question is, how did you submit what you have raised questions on yourself? That's what they want to know.
Yes, thank you. We got assurance from the police that they will provide the supporting document. Internal auditor. Internal auditor.
We've also been hearing from the executive chairman of the local organizing committee for the 2023 African Games, Akufo-Addo, who says 3 years on, the police are yet to provide enough document to justify the claim.
I mean, this was a bill submitted by the police at the end of the Games, and I was really baffled when the bill was submitted to me because we didn't reach that agreement. Initially, they were to have policemen to assist in carrying out police duties. We were initially even feeding them. Then they pulled out. And from nowhere, at the end of it, they brought this bill. And I wrote to them to justify why such a quantum. And they couldn't justify. So that is how That is where we've gotten to. I was shocked to the marrow with the kind of bill they brought. And I said, please give us justifications and break it down to support what you are claiming.
The Municipal Chief Executive, Emmanuel Kwame Frimpong, has painted a grim picture of the Assembly's finances, revealing, quote, an abysmal 22% internal revenue mobilization for the first quarter of 2026. Speaking at the 9th Assembly's seasonal meeting in Bechim, the MC also sounded an urgent alarm over rising youth drug abuse and deadly illegal modifications to commercial tricycles. Emmanuel Edujemfi reports.
Out of a targeted 1.2 million Ghana cedis in internally generated funds for the first quarter of the year, the Tano South Municipal Assembly managed to collect a mere 22%.
With regards to internally generated fund, the Assembly is not doing well. As at 31st March, we have made about 22% of our target of around 1.3 million Ghana cedi, which is relatively low.
To bridge this gap, the Assembly is putting up strict measures.
Right now, we are putting up a lot of strategies on how to generate more revenue for our municipality. Regular collectors, we are going to place embargo on them if they are not able to make up the 3 times revenue generation that they are supposed to generate as compared to the salaries that they are taking. We are also going to organize training workshops for them on how to maximize revenue mobilization, and any issues that they have, we will try and solve it for them. We will also take the advantage to also advise the ratepayers that they should also pay promptly so that they will not also get into any issue with law.
Mr. Kwame Frimpong also highlighted other pressing security concerns of the municipality.
The removal of the bucket of Aboboya tricycle in carrying locks, and it has caused a lot of accidents at times, which leads to loss of lives. We are taxing the police to be on the vigilant on the use of illicit drugs among the youth is getting out of hand in my municipality. So we have asked the police to continue with the sweeps and also task the health directorate to also start educating the youth about the side effects of illicit drugs.
As the Assembly tightens the screws on tax evaders, reckless riders, and drug dealers alike, all eyes will be on the Tano South Municipality to see how effectively these new directives are enforced. Emmanuel Edujemfi, Joy News, Bichim.
Malaria, anemia, hypertension, and cataract have emerged as major health conditions of concern in the Asin South District, prompting renewed calls for the public to prioritize regular medical checkups. Speaking during a health and social outreach program organized by the Daniel Into Obese Foundation, optometrist Obed Amwa also urged the government to improve access to quality healthcare, particularly in underserved communities.
More than 200 residents of Asina Chiase and Asina Saman Kese in the Asin South District of the Central Region benefited from the first health and social outreach program of the year, organized by the Daniel Into Obese Foundation. President of the foundation, Elizabeth Obese, said the initiative is aimed at complementing government's efforts to improve livelihoods, particularly in underserved communities.
I believe that healthcare is paramount to human development. We have to be healthy before we can do our farming or any activity that we are undertaking. We have to be first and foremost healthy. But we realize that the government alone cannot shoulder this kind of responsibility. So individuals, philanthropists, non-profit making organizations are expected to support government initiatives in this direction. That's why at DINOF, which is Daniel Into Obese Foundation, is one of our primary objectives to do this. And we don't only provide the healthcare, we also provide clothing for the community, because we realize that sometimes they are in need of such clothing. And anytime we have brought such clothing, so you could see the happiness and the joy that the community expresses. So we are happy that we are able to also support government in this regard.
Speaking during the outreach, optometrist with the foundation, Dr. Obed Amwa, while raising concerns over some health conditions detected during the exercise, urged the public to prioritize regular medical checkups and called on government to improve access to healthcare, especially quality eye care services in deprived communities.
We recommend that people frequently seek medical care. They don't have to wait till they are critically ill before they go for checkup. You can decide to go for a checkup once every year. And then when it comes to government, it's imperative that government ensures that eye care, access to eye care is made available to every community. For instance, the CHIPS compound here they don't have any eye care professional. So we recommend that at least government must ensure that there's equitable distribution of eye care professionals so that people will be able to have access to quality eye care promptly.
Some beneficiaries also appreciated the intervention.
The workers, how they talk to us, it's in a polite way. Yes, they are respectful and they do everything well.
Yadamase nya yenwa ya yentum wa wontum ende nyinala wa mobie duru wa hwemo framba nkakraba nyinala yadamo nyina ase wo adoya moda abare yen.
From the Asin South District, Abigail Lissel Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
Well, let's bring you more health stories this afternoon because new research presented by the University of Ghana kidney specialist, Professor Vincent Boima, suggests Akans may be more genetically predisposed to chronic kidney disease, raising major public health concerns for Ghana's largest ethnic group. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, Akans make up over 45% of the population, a figure experts say makes early screening, prevention and affordable kidney care even more urgent. Professor Boima says the finding should not be to create fear or stigma, but should guide Ghana's planning for kidney disease prevention and treatment. The following report has more.
Professor Vincent Boima says a major genetic study described as the first of its kind in Ghana with a large sample size suggests Akans may have a higher proportion of high-risk APOL1 gene variants linked to chronic kidney disease than groups such as GANS and EWES. The finding is significant because Akans are Ghana's largest ethnic group. The 2021 Population and Housing Census puts the Akan population at 13.9 million, representing nearly half of the country's population.
37.2% of Akans have the 2 risk variants, compared to 19% of the GANs and 17% of people from the Volta region.
But Professor Boima is cautioning against fear or stigma. He says genetic risk does not mean every Akan will develop kidney disease. He explains that the danger becomes greater when genetic risk is combined with factors such as high blood pressure, infections, late diagnosis, and poor access to treatment.
The reason for this is not known, but this poses a huge public health problem, which requires that we put measures in place to screen people at high risk of developing this gene-associated kidney disease and tailor-made treatment that will improve their outcome.
Professor Boima also says kidney disease and other long-term illnesses do not affect only the body. They also affect the mind. He says many patients suffer anxiety, depression, and emotional distress because of treatment costs and uncertainty about survival. He is calling for a new kidney care model that combines genetic research, mental health support, and community-based screening.
When you find the underlying cause, target it with therapy and treat the patient like that, that means that you probably are able to improve outcomes of care. And that is the precision therapy we are talking about.
Professor Boima says Ghana must invest more in prevention, early diagnosis, affordable medicines, and stronger primary health care. He's warning that without early action, kidney disease will continue to place a heavy financial and emotional burden on families.
The Church of Pentecost, in partnership with local and international health organizations, has officially launched its 2026 Medical Missions Outreach in Abesewa, located in the Ashanti region. Emmanuel Edujenfi reports that the initiative targets severe gaps in healthcare access for thousands of families in rural communities, offering free surgical healthcare and general medical care. Organizers describe the intervention as practical Christianity, a holistic mission to heal both the body and the soul.
Abesewa community and its environs are facing critical health challenges, with quality surgical and preventive care long out of reach for many. The Church of Pentecost and its partners have stepped in to bridge that gap, launching a massive medical campaign. Apostle Ebenezer Hagan is the youth director of the church.
When Jesus came, he wasn't bottled by the walls of the church. We saw Jesus moving out the street to the market. We saw him healing the sick. We saw him meeting needs. And that is what the church that is for Jesus is supposed to be. And so this medical outreach is a pure expression of our vision and the pursuit that we are given to come out there to show the love of Christ. I mean, to those who are sick, to those who need, various kinds of surgery, those who need medical attention, those who need the gospel preached to them, we are bringing all of it in a holistic pack.
Pastor Akufo-Addo of Pensa International added that young professionals worldwide have been mobilized to drive this vision.
We are bringing doctors, primarily surgeons. They specialize in different medical aspects. A year ago, we had the experience in Pasa, where we treated all sorts of surgical treatments across the spectrum. Once again, we are coming back to Ghana. The objective here is to put into practice Christianity. The Bible tells us that this gospel, everywhere it goes, it is bearing fruit and transforming lives. What we are seeking to do here is that we are sharing the love of Christ and transforming lives, physically as well as spiritually.
To sustain this, Pentecost Social Services Director, Pastor Benjamin Asaro-Yeboah, noted that the church treated over 249,000 people for free last year and hopes to multiply the number this year.
Last year, we provided access to healthcare to over 249,000 people in Ghana. Now, as part of our interventions, one of the things we do is to collaborate with other bodies and then bring health care to people like this project that is going to happen. We believe that bringing this project is going to save lives. People who have their health insurance expired will also be renewed for them as part of these interventions. And this will go a long way to improve productivity.
Arctic operation begins this June with an intensive pre-screening phase to catalog complex cases. The main deployment will hit the ground from October 2 to 18 at Abesewa Pentecost Hospital and Bechim Government Hospital, bringing medical personnel and volunteers from Ghana and the United States. Emmanuel Edujenfi, Joy News, Abesewa.
The pause returns after this break.
When news breaks, there's no pause button. With fast-moving, developing stories, decisions are unfolding, and the nation is watching. This is News Desk, with a very fast and precise tone and attitude, 1 hour. The biggest stories, the clearest facts, politics, governance, security, the economy, not rumors, not speculation, but verified news.
It's clear that the people wanted to change the will of the people of Pandai, but the Supreme Court has affirmed the will of the people.
Backed by context, sharpened by analysis. Here, headlines are not enough. We go beyond the what to ask the why and the what next. Decision makers are questioned, policies are examined, and the facts are allowed to speak without fear, without favor. This is News Desk on Joy News. Independent, fearless, credible.
every morning before the rush, before the arguments, before the headlines begin to chase us.
There's a moment to pause, to listen, to understand what truly matters. This is where the day begins.
Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, a man who has run away from his own people he once served. We believe in the spirit of accountability. It is important for him to come and answer charges preferred against him by the state.
On the AM show, the news is not just read, it is examined. The stories shaping your life, explained with clarity, handled with care. We ask the questions without fear.
If your constituency cannot grow enough tomato for Ghanaians, then there's something wrong with your constituency.
My name is Emefa Akufo-Addo.
And I am Samuel Kojo Brace.
Two voices, one purpose, holding the powerful to account, putting your interests first in every conversation.
No noise, no spin, just facts, context, and the courage to ask the right questions.
Start your day informed, start your day empowered. The AM show on Joy News is definitely worth waking up for.
Joy News, independent,
fearless, credible.
Hello again. The Vice President, Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, has cautioned against premature celebration of Ghana's improving economic indicators. Speaking at the Oxford Africa Conference 2026 at the University of Oxford in the UK, Professor Opoku-Agyeman explained that while recovery signs are encouraging, focus must remain on disciplined, inclusive and sustained transformation rather than complacency. She also emphasized the need for global institutions to be more responsive to the needs of African countries, calling for stronger African representation on the UN Security Council. Hannah Odami has more.
The conference, organized by the Oxford University Africa Society, is a student-led platform that convenes policymakers, scholars, entrepreneurs, and global leaders to advance dialogue on Africa's development and future trajectories. Delivering the keynote address, the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, said Africa's limited representation in key global decision-making bodies, particularly the United Nations Security Council, continues to reflect a structural imbalance in global power relations.
For many African states, the continued absence of meaningful African representation within key global decision structures, particularly the United Nations Security Council, remains a source of growing imbalance between the distribution of global power and the structures through which that power is exercised. But legitimacy is shaped beyond representation. It is also shaped by outcomes.
According to her, many governments continue to operate under severe structural constraints, which, she says, undermines growth, stability, and opportunity. Describing this as one of the defining governance challenges of the era, the Vice President questioned why global and national institutions cannot quickly adapt enough to remain credible amid rapid change.
What matters now is not so much how Africa is described, but how the continent organizes herself to compete, integrate, innovate, and build at scale. Data may illustrate the breadth of the opportunity and project the possibilities ahead. But our future will ultimately be shaped by leadership, by institutions that are capable of functioning credibly and consistently, and by systems capable of recognizing the full productive potential of her people.
On Ghana's economic situation, Professor Akufo-Addo acknowledged encouraging signs of recovery and reform, but cautioned against complacency.
It is true that Ghana is beginning to see encouraging signs of recovery and reform. Macroeconomic indicators are improving, investor confidence is gradually returning, and institutional reforms are taking shape. But grounded leadership also means resisting the temptation to celebrate prematurely. Strong results should not produce complacency. They should deepen responsibility because transformation is a process.
The Vice President, who also met some Ghanaian students at the Oxford University, encouraged them to learn beyond the classroom, indicating global challenges now require integrated thinking and collaborative approach. For Joy News, I am Hannah Odami.
South Tone District Assembly and the Kpeve Traditional Council have committed to fulfilling their respective roles in resolving the chieftaincy dispute in the area. They explained that this effort aims to sustain the district's development by eliminating all obstacles that threaten peace and could impede progress. Victoria Jaklo, the South Tone District Chief Executive, gave this assurance when concerned citizens of Aduto petitioned stakeholders to address a burgeoning conflict in the area.
Concerned citizens of Aduto organized a civil protest demanding an end to the ongoing chieftaincy conflict in the Kpeve traditional area. They called on the government and the Kpeve Traditional Council to swiftly initiate an investigation by inviting the rival factions to present their claims for resolution. They expressed concern over the chief of the Anyigbe clan, Kpeve-Addo the 8th, conducting raids purportedly to distill Togbelugu Abadali IV for misconduct, an action they found customarily wrong and alarming.
If left unaddressed, this act of provocation risks severely disturbing the peace and unity of the Kpeve traditional area and may lead consequences that are difficult to contain. Togbelugu Abadali IV remain the duly installed, recognized, and legitimate Dufia of Aduto.
The president of the Kpeve Traditional Council, Togbega Hodiho VI, reaffirmed the council's commitment to resolving the issue amicably.
We cannot go through we cannot develop by those acts. And the courts are there. If you feel somebody is not right to occupy a position, you go to court. That is why courts are there. This does not bring any development to Kpeve. That's it.
The concerned citizens of Aduto also petitioned the government through the South Tone District Assembly to take a mediation role in the ongoing chieftaincy disputes. The South Tone District Chief Executive, Victoria Jaklo, received the petition on behalf of the government.
His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and on behalf of the Volta Regional Minister, Honorable James Dean, I received your petition and I assure you that we'll work towards it and keep them also informed. Whatever the outcome is, we'll get back to you within the shortest. Thank you, Madam.
Fred Kwame Asai, Joy News, Aduto.
Alumni from the Akufo-Addo Senior High School have expressed concern over the poor condition of the school's kitchen. They say the facility is deteriorated and could pose a health risk to students who eat there. To address this, the group is rallying other alumni to contribute toward building a modern kitchen for their alma mater. The appeal was made during the launch of the school's 73rd speech and prize-giving day, which also marked 25 years since the 2001 batch graduated. The following report has more.
Who gets 1,000 voices to hail my dear person, my great alma mater.
A school kitchen is meant to be the hub for preparing students' meals, but at Pando SHS, the standard is not being met. According to concerned alumni, there must be a change. Speaking at the launch of the 73rd Speech and Prize-Giving Day, 2001 alumni president Kpeve Treatment described the current state of the kitchen.
The current infrastructure on the ground is very appalling. It's an open structure. What it means is that food and other things that are supposed to be consumed are left in the open, exposed to all bad conditions. We used to have a very well-planned and established gas system those days used in cooking, but as we speak now, the cylinder, the pipe system and all the stoves are down, and so as part of the project we are considering revamping that gas facility to supply power to the kitchen. The new facility, we're going to have very good washrooms, restrooms, a well-equipped office for the matron. We're also going to have steamers to cook.
The school's 73rd Speech and Prize-Giving Day was held under the theme Advancing Academic Excellence Through Discipline and Innovation, a Collective Responsibility. The event also marks the 25th anniversary of the 2001 batch. Event chairman, Professor Gordon Adumja, explained that the school is trying to raise more than 1 million cedis for the school kitchen.
So the year group is hoping to raise 1.8 million cedis as a minimum amount for the kitchen project, and also raise additional funding for the award categories for the Speech and Prize Giving Day. So we're calling on all past students of Pando Secondary School, home and abroad, and well-wishers to come and support this important project.
North Tongu DCE and fellow alumna Victoria Amefaji Yawado called on all SHS alumni in her district to support their formal schools and not depend solely on government funding.
I have 5 senior high schools in my district. I also encourage them that, yes, just as a lot of schools are celebrating days, anniversaries, and giving back to the schools that groomed them, they should form the association. It must be a vibrant association. Government cannot do it alone. Government needs different stakeholders to help us to support our schools. And the All Students Association is one of the key stakeholders of the schools that we have.
With the 2001 batch taking the lead, all Pando SHS alumni are being urged to contribute towards securing the school's future. The goal is to build a facility that protects students' health and upholds the school's legacy. For Joy News, Mavis Kabuko's report read to you.
The drums were louder, the fugu brighter, and the pride unmistakable. Last Saturday, the road from Jirapa to Gbolu to Funsi didn't just pass through town, it passed through centuries of Ghanaian story. And at the center of it was Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts Minister Jifa Gomashi with one message: if Ghana wants to grow, it starts by selling what's already ours. Joy News' Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam traveled with him, and here is his report.
From Jiruba to Gbolu to Fancy, Ghana's culture took center stage last Saturday. The Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Jifa Gomashi, wrapped up a tour of the Upper West region with one clear message: Ghana's heritage is our economy, and it starts here.
Every thread woven into fugu tells a story, as
story and our resilience as a people. This is why I wish so strongly to urge all Ghanaians to consciously promote and patronize made in Ghana products, especially our beautiful fugu and other locally produced textiles and crafts.
The tour kicked off at the Royal Coast Hill Safari Resort in Jiriba, otherwise known as Jiriba, Dubai, where the minister praised the investment and said the facility fits perfectly with Ghana's Experience Ghana and Black Star Experience tourism brand.
And I can tell you that it is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I was born by the seaside. I come from the seaside, and this is a different environment that I've experienced. And the food is good.
In Bulu, the focus shifted to history and tradition. The delegation visited the tomb of former President Dr. Hilary Mann and explored the 19th century Bulu defense wall built by Chief Tangier Bang to protect the town from slave raids.
So when he was going through other wars, he realized that slavery was happening rapidly. So he then came with the idea that they should put up a wall around the community. So the people of Gulu and other surrounding communities, including the Burkina community that are very closer to Gulu, it will be interesting to know that half a kilometer inside Burkina. So we share so many things in common. So the people of Burkina, who are also around, but they are separated by tribe, and then that of other villages around Gulu, they all came together and put up the wall.
The lessons include the shrine at the entrance of the facility of the house. Traditional religion is a part of who we are. And we must, as Ghanaians, as Africans, learn to appreciate ourselves holistically.
They also had the opportunity to see the pickup that former President Dr. Hilary Mann was using when he left office. Local guides also shared the story of the Kalgui and Hapalong crocodile ponds, where the community and reptiles have coexisted for centuries based on mutual respect.
The first people who settled there, the woman gave birth to a child, and there was a smaller crocodile lying beside the child. So they decided to kill that small crocodile, and the child also died. So in the subsequent years, they gave birth again, there was a crocodile again beside the child. So this time around, the husband advised the wife that she shouldn't kill the child, but rather they should put the crocodile inside a pond and then put water inside. So they then put that small crocodile inside a pond with water. While the child was growing, the crocodile was equally growing.
The minister pledged support to document the oral history and develop the sites for tourism. But the climax came in Fancy in front of hundreds. The minister officially unveiled international music star Noella Woyala as Ghana's global Fugu ambassador and tourism ambassador.
And I want to tell my mommy that I have accepted this title, this honor, and I will not disappoint you. I'll make the whole Ghana proud. When I go out there, I will roar.
Community leaders say the honor puts Fancy and the Upper West on the map. Mr. Ernest Nwadi, speaking for the elders, called Fugu a symbol of identity, dignity, hard work, creativity, and heritage, and invited the minister to launch a Fugu festival in Fancy in 2027.
With continuous support, Funsi can become a major cultural tourism destination in Ghana and beyond. We already have the Woyala Arts and Cultural Center, Funsi Movie and Art Village, which, with your support, we can develop these venues into more befitting places for the promotion of creative arts industry in Funsi.
The night ended with a symbolic performance by the Molebi women's group, turning fishing into a dance and celebrating the craftsmanship of Fugu for the ministry. It was a statement. The Upper West region is ready to be positioned as Ghana's next premier destination for arts, entertainment, and heritage. Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam, Fonsi.
We're still a while in northern Ghana because for years pupils in Nadoli studied in borrowed classrooms while midwives in Chan delivered babies from makeshift facilities. That is now changing as the Nadoli-Kaleo District Assembly hands over new school and health facilities to both communities. Joy News' Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam once again reports.
It's been a day of relief in the Nadoli-Kaleo District. Residents in Nadoli and Chan are celebrating after the District Assembly commissioned 3 key projects meant to fix years of gaps in education and healthcare. In Nadoli, pupils panel have a fully furnished model kindergarten block and a new 3-classroom block. For years, many had to perch in other schools just to get a lesson. In Chan, a modern community-based health planning and services CHIPS compound is now open, replacing the borrowed compound house where midwives once worked. Nadoli-Kaleo District Chief Executive Mero Haruna calls the Nadoli Classroom Block a legacy project and says another will soon be commissioned in Pala soon. She urged parents and chiefs to take ownership and maintain the structures.
We are committed to solving the educational problems of Nadoli-Kaleo District. We are sharing in bits and will move from community to community. There are a lot we have in our developmental plan. The medium-term plans, we have captured a lot of communities we're going to handle. And I use this opportunity to thank all the technocrats who supported. We also thank the John Mahama government for giving us a lot. There is certain agenda is expected to be supported by us, and we are ready to touch all communities within Nadoli-Kaleo District. To the technocrats, we are very grateful.
For teachers and health workers, the change is immediate. In Nadoli, KG head teacher, Madam Faustina Bodib, recalled having to hold children on her lap during his leaked. She says the era is over.
I don't know how to always control the children. Madam will be carrying some on her laps. I will carry some on my laps. And the place where we were perching, always leaking. So we are very, very happy that this has been given to us.
In Chang, senior midwife Suwe Faustina says the new compound with staff accommodation means they can now offer 24/7 care and accept more postings.
Because we're having a limited infrastructure, sometimes you want to observe someone for an hour or two to see the way forward. But because there's no enough facilities for the person, like resting, or a woman has come to deliver, and there's no place for the person to lie down, for you to observe and monitor the baby and the mother. That was before, but now with this structure, all those facilities, avenues have been created.
But officials say the work isn't complete. Mr. Adams Lamson, speaking on behalf of the acting Nadoli-Kaleo District Director of Education, flagged unfair conditions in communities like Mangwara Bangmara, where children still trek long distances for kindergarten.
But as Oliver Trace, we always ask for more. Years we have never stopped asking. In fact, some of our communities are still left without these facilities, and I think if we can get some of these facilities for them, it will ease the burden. Looking at our community like Mangwara, Bamara, they have no KG. Children trek all the way to DBI for education because they have to go to the community ahead, which is what? Moyiri.
And in Chang, the health director says a few finishing issues must be fixed before full medical work starts.
Leading with the district chief executive that as we are taking over the CHIPS compound, but we will be knocking on her door for her support so that the facility could be finished for us to start work. If not, at this particular moment, if we take over the facility, but no serious work can be done in the facility.
Representing Upper West Regional Minister, Chief Planning Officer Richard Ni Ajielayi commended the Assembly for the successful completion of the projects.
We should protect the land so that other facilities can be added and one day to be a hospital or a health center. So we should put that at the back of our mind and protect the land. For the classroom,
We should please also teach our children how to look after it and not write on the walls, deface the painting and spoil the chairs and other things.
Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam, Nadoli.
Valeria Addo Ajatia, founder of the Smiles of Hope Foundation, has emerged as the Joy News Impact Maker of the Year for her outstanding work supporting amputees through counseling, rehabilitation, and peer mentorship. Her initiative has reached thousands of beneficiaries, helping them rebuild confidence and successfully reintegrate into society. She's now joining me in the studio to talk about the recognition and the journey behind her work. Valeria, welcome to the studio of Joy News and congratulations on that award.
Thank you.
I must say you thoroughly deserve that. What prompted you to venture into that?
Okay, so I have lived my whole life as an amputee, and then walking through that journey hasn't been an easy one. It comes with the struggles, the stigma, and the systems that are not in place to actually support you at a time that you needed it most. So I started this initiative through Smiles of Hope to be able to bridge that gap, help new amputees that are new to the condition that I have walked through every day, to help them adjust, build confidence, and then get back into society again.
What are some of the challenges that you, as an amputee yourself, go through on a daily?
So barely a basis, it has to do with access issues for me. So access to places that I'm going, transport, issues with stigma, people not giving you the opportunity because you come in and they look at how you walk than even first before thinking about what you can actually do on a daily basis. And then the emotional toll that comes with it, adjusting again, trying to deal with your identity issue as well, issues that had to do with the change in your own name. So Valeria is lost, and then you have a name like the girl or the lady that has one of her leg cut off. That sort of thing, every day you have to deal with it, and you are really reminded of your traumas, your stories every day along the way. So yeah, these are some of the challenges for me on a daily basis, going about being able to do things by myself, getting transport moving. I have to rely on the Ubers, the boats. That is quite expensive for me instead of being able to do the normal transport. But yeah, these are daily struggles for me as an amputee.
Did your win as the Impact Maker of the Year surprise you?
Yes, it did. So actually, I didn't know I was being nominated. So I got a call from a team from Joy and said you were nominated and all of that. And so I was going in for my award as the new category that actually was introduced this year. It has to do with the disability and social inclusion. So I was just going in to receive that award, enjoy the night, and then the night unfolded, and then finally I was named the ultimate winner for the night. I didn't see it coming because it's quite competitive. Looking at the other competitors, their projects, and all of that. So yeah, it kind of came as a surprise for me. But it also reaffirmed what we do, the sacrifices, the work we put in every day, the lives we touch. And it means that the stories of amputees are equally important and needed to be put on a national level to be able to throw the spotlight on it. So yeah.
You're already making a change in your society. That's why you won the ultimate award as the Impact Maker of the Year. But now that you have added that icing on the cake, what do you hope, what more impacts do you hope to achieve with your new crown as the Impact Maker of the Year?
Yeah, so for me, I see this as more work to be done for us as Smiles of Hope, and as the director, myself, it also means that we want to use this to do more advocacy, more awareness on issues that affect amputees. For instance, in the hospital systems, that gap is there. Where someone has to go to amputation, there is no counseling support, there is no psychosocial support, and you just have to go through the procedure. So it goes beyond just the physical healing after going through the surgeries to recovering and having that proper system and support for you to regain your confidence again and be able to get back to society. So I'm hoping that we use this crown now, to call it, to be able to do more, put our stories out there more, let people know about the various challenges for amputees. Last April, just past April, was Amputee Awareness Month, and it's recognized globally. But in Ghana here, as an organization, we are now trying to throw the spotlight on it. And last month, one of the activities we did to climax it was to have that awareness and visibility walk. And as part of it, we presented a petition to the Minister of Gender, Social and Children Protection. And in there, we stated issues like access to prosthetic limbs, the cost of it, access to the centers that even do it. For instance, if someone is amputated in Volta region, we'll have to get all the way to either Accra and so on before they can even get a prosthetic fit. That means if the person needs a repair, then you still have to travel that way down as well to be able to access it as well. There is no database on amputees in Ghana, meaning that our policymakers are not able to plan and use data to be able to include us in whatever they do. So these are things that we want to be able to do using this platform to be able to advocate for policy changes and also make people have change on their mindset about amputees as well. When community accepts, when they open and show love, it makes the healing process for you much easier than when you are being discriminated against and looked down upon.
What are some of the most harrowing stories that you've heard from the people your foundation has helped, even though you are a witness of it yourself? What are some of the things that you hear that you even get shocked?
So, for instance, that perception that people who are amputees are a result of a wrongdoing or a curse or something you did, or someone in your family did, which you are now being punished for it. And I remember having a conversation, someone sharing this within our support group meetings and said, until he became an amputee, he thought, anytime he sees an amputee, his thought is that the person had gone to steal and then got caught and then been butchered. So all along, that has been his perception. That is what he thought has been it. Until he became one himself and he understood it more that he did not go and steal anything, but he in that situation himself. And I'll share of this little boy that got amputated. And the father, this little boy of 6 years, went out with the father, got knocked down by a motorbike, and then the father decided not to care for the boy.
Oh.
Yes. And think he's a bad luck and left the boy. And even for treatment, he just went to dump the boy at a prayer camp and left until the leg deteriorated, had to be amputated. And so something that would have been a lower limb amputation went all the way up the hill because the damage was already done. And to save the life, then it's at that level. And fixing prosthesis at that level can be really challenging. It's better when there is a little limb left, then it's easier. So things like this, I don't understand why a father would want to leave a son that you were together with and then the incident happened and they just decide to abandon this little boy of 6 years. But through it all, we came in, fitted the little boy with prosthetics so that he's able to go back to school.
Right.
He's in school now and doing so well as well. So yeah, these are some of the daily stories we hear all the time that makes it a bit, even within this, it makes it strange that people still think in this direction, which we are now trying to change perception and narrative as well.
We know that people like that face a lot of bullying, but children's bully are the worst, trust me. We've all been kids before. That kid that you saved his life, has he informed you about being bullied in school by friends, being bullied at home due to his amputation? What does it tell you?
So there's a lot of that happening within the schools for these little ones that are amputees. I'll share a sort of causa who happen to be born with the condition. So, you know, some are born with it, the congenital, and then the ones that occur later in life. And anytime he goes to school, she has this bullying, this staring, and all of that. So the parents had a nice way of going about it. So they call her prosthetic leg the golden leg. And it kind of like encouraged her. So if any tiny one says this, is like, oh, look, I have a golden leg. You do not have a golden leg.
Right.
So in a way, we're able to now change the bullying into something that has empowered her more. She's doing very well in school. She's good to go every day. Like, she's very active little girl, living just like any normal child should be able to live their lives as well.
There are a lot of myths around amputees. Some even say that they don't want to get closer to somebody who's had any part of their body amputated because they think that it's something that can be transferred to them as well. These are everyday kind of stereotypes that people face. How do we demystify that?
So, as part of the work we did was to raise a lot of awareness. We call it awareness and visibility work. That's how we termed it. And walk through the principal streets of Accra, hold messages. And we did a very long walk. And I think at the point, the police that came to escort us was like, aren't you guys tired? So it's a way of changing some of these narratives. They see us and think like, you cannot even walk along this and you are not strong. Some even sees you as a sick person. I'm going to just be left at home in your sorrows and then till your time is up and then finally you go. But we do this to show that we have the resilience, we are strong, we are able to also do these things. And then through our advocacies as well, for instance, within the schools, we talk about the bullying in the schools. One of the initiatives we do is to go into the schools and then talk to these children. We start this so that we are able to change the mindset at the school levels when they are much younger, to know that when you see someone like that, or when you have a classmate who is like that, it just happens that it could have been you, but unfortunately it happens to be the other person as well. And when we go into these schools, that is when you hear the questions the children ask. They are curious about lots of things, and they ask questions. Then you know that education is not there. They are not aware. So it's what they hear, the wrong information they pick out there, is what they grow up thinking it is. So it's about time that we change the narratives, we change how we tell the stories. So that's why I believe that we amputees should be made to tell our own stories. That way we are able to change how people perceive us and the sort of stories they tell about us.
Where do you envision your foundation in the next few years?
In the next few years, so currently we operate mostly within the Greater Accra region. Due to limitation to resources and stuff like that. In the next few years, we are hoping that we should be able to scale this across the country, because every amputee needs that support, needs that care, and does not need to walk alone. We do receive a lot of calls from across the regions and say, look, we need you to come in, but we have limited resources at the moment. But we are hoping that in the next few years, we should be able to expand our reach across the country, to be able to reach more people out there as well. Then for us, the access to prosthetic.
Yeah.
Prosthetic is not a luxury. It is what makes us live quality life as amputees. And so without it, we already have issues with how you look, how you carry yourself. When you have a prosthetic, it sort of boosts your confidence. It helps us manage some of the conditions that come with amputation, like phantom pains and the phantom sensations. When you have it, it helps you deal with those conditions that come with it as well. And it's able to make you to be more functional, more mobile, and you are able to do your jobs, go about your everyday work with no or little independence on people. So the access to prosthetic is something that we really, really want to champion, to be able to have it. Currently, it's not on health insurance. And so we are talking about equal access to health care for everyone, but amputees are not included. Our prosthetic is what makes us move as well. We should be able to have it on the insurance scheme at the moment, because it's quite expensive to be able to get one. What I use, which is a below knee, will cost you about 6,000 on the lower level. That is the subsidized facilities. But when you go into the private facilities, you can even imagine. And I have a knee. Those without a knee, cost us over 10,000 cedis. And the upper limb amputation, those that have their arms, it's over 25,000.
Wow. And does it have to be changed periodically?
Yes, and especially for a child. So I was a child, so every year...
You're growing.
So I have to change it. I did a lot of those hospital visits, and I was always spending my long vacs at the therapy center, because I have to change it all the time. And as you use it, it's just like using a machine or equipment. It has wear and tears and all of that, so you have to change it frequently. On the average, the expert says that you have to change your prosthetic in 5 to 7 years. New one.
Wow.
New one. But because we don't have it here, we use it till it's totally worn out before you are able to go in for it. But I believe that when we are able to have that access to it, we'll be able to do this, improve the health conditions of people. Because if it becomes longer as well, it has a health complication for your skeletal formation as well. So yeah, these are the things that we want to be able to champion, and then psychosocial support in their hospitals.
Valeria, we're going now, but I want you to put out a number if, in case someone wants to support, they send some donations or call you to support.
Yeah, so the number is 054 855 2626. 054 855 2626. And my personal number as well is 024 275 8384.
Valeria Addo Ajatia, thank you very much for coming. We appreciate you for all you do, and congratulations once again on emerging as the ultimate impact maker of the year. This has been The Pulse here on Joy News. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. I'm Kenneth Gyasi. Have a good evening.
After fierce contested in Morocco and South Africa, 8 teams have advanced to the playoffs of the 2026 Basketball Africa League set to be hosted in Kigali, Rwanda. Al Ahly of Egypt, Al Ahly Benghazi of Libya, FUS Rabat of Morocco, and Petro de Luanda of Angola will return to the finals chasing the coveted title. Meanwhile, the City of Tanzania, Club Africain of Tunisia, RSSB Tigers of Rwanda, and ASC Ville de Dakar of Senegal will be making their debut appearance at the finals. Beyond basketball, the competition has always become known for its vibrant halftime entertainment, blending sports, music, and African culture to create a unique fan experience.
And bling and strings and bling, the peace they bring to me. I